Welcome to the Global Roundtable. Today we are broadcasting from the United Nations General Assembly, and we have the honor of the company of the Ambassador of Benin to the United Nations. Welcome, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you very much, Jean-Francis Zinsou, Ambassador Permanent Representative of Benin.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And it's also an honor and a pleasure to announce that today we have with us young people that are members of the United Nations Association of the Dominican Republic that are here in the New York City for the Model UN that's going to take place here in a few days, and they are accompanying us here. So here today with us, Alan Fernandez, Ivan Cruz, and Luisa Burgos. Thank you for joining us today. Before we start our conversation with Mr. Ambassador Zinsou, we would like to remind all of us and the audiences about the country of Benin. Benin is located in West Africa, and it's between Nigeria, Togo, Niger, and Burkina Faso. It is the site of the ancient West African kingdom of Dahomey. It gained its independence in 1960 from France, and from 1960 to 1972, military governments have followed. In 1972, the first President Kerakou took power, and in 1989 there was a transition to a more representative government. In 1991, the President Soglo was elected, and then again in 1996 and 2001, the President Kerakou came in power. In 2006, the President Yayi Boni came in power, and he was recently re-elected, and congratulations to your President on the re-election.
Thank you very much. I will forward that to him.
The area of the country is approximately 112,622 square kilometers. The land is flat, undulating plains with small hills and lone mountains. The resources are offshore oil deposits, limestone, marble, and timber. The arable land constitutes only 23.53% of the whole area. And the biggest environmental challenges of Benin are potable water, wildlife poaching, deforestation, and desertification. The population of the country comprises of 9.5 million people, and it's a very young country. The population, the median age of population is 17 years. So 45% of population is between newlyborns and 14-year-olds. The population growth is almost 3%, so it's a young country growing very quickly. The capital is Cotonou, and there is a big challenge with AIDS and its impact on the population. There is a huge ethnic diversity. There is a huge religious diversity between Christian, Muslim, and Vodou people. And the official language is French. In southern area, Fon and Yoruba spoken, and in the north there are 6 tribal languages. The economy is based on subsistence agriculture, cotton production, and regional trade. Ambassador Zinsou, once again, congratulations to your president for his election, and talk a little bit about how he's facing the Millennium Development Challenges and what are his plans to improve the social and economic situation in the country.
I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's a pleasure for me to accompany this mobilization of young people in the world according to the model of the United Nations, and it's with pleasure that I take part in such events. You were talking of Benin. I want to put something right. Benin from 60 to 63 was a democratic country led by a democratically elected president, and the first coup took place in 1963. And from that coup on to 1972, we had almost 11 governments in, so to say, such a small time frame. And stability came, political stability came with the last coup, which happened 26 October 1972. The last coup happened, and then until now we have no more political military takeovers in the country. As you said, 1990, we made the shift to democracy. It's a multi-party democracy which was led by peaceful national conference. This was the first in Africa, and that's why Benin is labeled as the cradle of democracy in Africa.
And it's considered one of the countries with the strongest democracy in whole of Africa, right?
You are right, you are right. And in this process, we have been conducting presidential elections with alternation in power. And as you saw it, President Dr. Boni Yayi has been re-elected at the elections which were held 13 March 2011, some weeks ago, and he has been inaugurated officially on 6 April 2011. And you were talking about his way of tackling the Millennium Development Goals, and I will tell you he's very committed to the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals. And Benin was selected as one of the pilot countries, 10 pilot countries, to accelerate the rate of the pace of implementation of Millennium Development Goals in Africa, because we had a full-scale assessment of what that will cost, what was supposed to be done to get to the point in year 2015. Mm-hmm. And in that sense, one of the critical measures he has implemented is to declare free and compulsory primary education. And in the implementation of that decision, in the time frame from 2007 to 2010, we launched the building of 6,000 new classrooms, and we recruited more than 20,000 new teachers to implement that. And you see, when you say you are recruiting teachers, it means that you are depleting unemployment, you are giving more prospect to the people, and something that is very important also as regards Millennium Development Goal 4 and 5, maternal, child and health. He has declared free and free of charge birth through cesarean operations, and he has declared malaria treatment free for mothers and children below 5. And those are measures which are very, very critical in our country where malaria is a big issue.
Well, congratulations on this wonderful step. And
for his new term now, he's planning to turn all villages of Benin in millennium villages. You can imagine what that means as investment to really put the villages at the standard of the millennium villages.
So he has already announced this agenda.
Yes, he has announced that in his inauguration statement.
And I imagine there is a lot of enthusiasm among population and a lot of optimism.
And one thing he has done, also fighting poverty, is to introduce microcredit. Microcredit gives an opportunity to anybody who wants to undertake anything to get the Kickstart fund to do it. And that is a very, very popular measure in Benin. And that was one of the things for why he has been elected at the first round. Our elections were supposed to be held in 2 rounds, but he had the 53.14% at the first round. And this is something very, very...
landslide.
Yes, definitely. And that proves that the people react to good policy. If you are implementing a good policy, people understand that and react.
And this is also the result of your democratic tradition, because people are educated and know how to appreciate it and support it.
People are educated, even if they don't go to school, they have a sense, they have a common sense to appreciate who is doing good job. That's it.
I understand. Thank you so much. Could you comment a little bit on the environmental challenges and then also health challenges? There are a few environmental challenges that I mentioned in the beginning, and then there is the HIV/AIDS. At the same time, we know, Ambassador Zinsou, that you are also a co-chair of the United Nations Conference on Youth. And we want to congratulate you on your wonderful work. We know that you're right now very busy preparing for the UN conference that will take place in July. And the young people present here from the United Nations Association from the Dominican Republic have some questions in that sense that relates to youth and to your country. So to start with, Ivan Cruz would like to make a question.
Thank you. My question is, Benin is reported to be one of the most stable democracies in Africa. How has that possible impact the attraction of foreign investment and tourism to your country?
Benin is a stable country and is open and has in place good legislation to welcome investors, and the president has even an investment council which he chairs himself, and with that we have a framework which allows investors to come and to take up really economic activities that can generate wealth in the country. And stability is a good framework for economic developments, and because it's in peace, it's in a country without turmoils, that you can really bring activity and get people involved in such activities. We have a very good trained young people who are ready to involve in such activities. So Benin is welcoming investment in all parts, and one of the major fields of investment is ICT now, because Benin has an antenna of a world fiber optic cable system, and we are trying to build on that. And our Minister of Communication said we are not yet exploiting our oil, but communication, telecommunication, ICT is our oil now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. And talking about youth and the role of the United Nations in youth and the promotion of youth issues, Luisa has a question on that.
What are the top 3 achievements by the United Nations in terms of advancement of youth-related issues around the world?
I would say it's a good thing that the United Nations has taken up the issue of youth. And as you said, you know, there was the first decade, and during that first decade, there was a program of action, a World Youth Program of Action, which has been adopted with 10 at the beginning major fields of activity, and then in 2008 there was a new resolution to complement these 10 elements with 5 more, taking into account the new challenges which the young people are facing. So I would say the fact of having such a program is the major achievement. And something that we should also take into account is the Millennium Development Goals. The fact that the Millennium Development Goals attack such issues that are critical for young people, such as education, health, that's also something we have to consider as an achievement.
Thank you so much. And Alan Fernandez would like to ask you something in reference to the youth conference as
yes,
well.
Yes.
Well, Ambassador, there are 15 priority young issues identified by UN. For example, globalization, ACT, and youth and conflict, added by the Young World Report in 2003. With the 2011 UN conference on youth imminent, do you envisage any more new issues to the fore?
There are new challenges. There are new challenges like climate change. Climate change and its impact on young people is very critical. And disasters, we have disasters, how young people have to react to that. And mostly, I think what is most important now is to assess the implementation of those measures which have been adopted, and see how we can do to make the international community more concrete, more successful in tackling youth challenges. That's what I could tell you as for the goal of this conference per se. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Zinsou. And then Ambassador Francis Lorenzo is here with us from the Dominican Republic as always, and he's going to give us a few closing remarks and a few additional questions for you.
Just to say thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Your Excellency, for coming at a meeting. The G77 today had a retreat, and he was kind enough to leave the retreat, come here to this roundtable, and then go back to the hotel for the retreat of the G77. But going back and how Benin has been taking ICT and how your president see the importance of ICT as a tool for development. South News launched an initiative with your president when he came here at the Waldo Astoria, where now we're using World TV, which is a satellite company in Paris, to do some of the transmission, satellite transmission between Benin and the US for the people of Benin who live here. But it's more about promoting Benin, because he recognized the importance of tourism's investment, but there is the only way he can achieve and accomplish that is by the media, and that's the reason why he launched this new channel. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes, you are right. On 16 December 2010, the President of the Republic of Benin was here to launch on satellite for the US, Canada, and South America, Caribbean and South America, the broadcasting of our National Broadcasting Corporation programs. And this was a very decisive step he took to put Benin at the disposal, information about Benin at the disposal of everyone, not only of Beninese people living here, because you have just to install your unit and you can get, whoever you are, you can get the program which are being sent in Benin in direct. You have live sending that you can live with. It means that you have true information about what is happening in the country. It's a very good tool about Afro-pessimism, because people will see directly Africa in motion, Africa in action to overcome its challenges. And that is something very important, to have true information about the country and also to be able to keep the connection with the citizens of a country when they are abroad, because it's very important for each and every citizen of a country to be able to contribute, to know what is happening at home and to contribute to the development of the country. And I think this is a major step, a major change in our reality, because before you had to go to internet or you had to search for information from the embassy or from the mission to know what is happening there if you are really willing to know. But now you have everything at your disposal. You just click a button at home and it appears on your TV, and you can be involved. You can even take your phone sometime and call home and say and participate directly in events that are happening on live in TV. That's a tremendous achievement for us, and we are very delighted to have a president who has so much vision for the future and who is so much caring about involving all the citizens in the efforts of national construction.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Zinsou. It was a real pleasure to have you today with us. And again, congratulations to your president, Boni Yayi. And thank you so much for visiting us.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you for being with us for the Global Roundtable organized by South News and Global Foundation for Democracy and Development.